Biodiversity conservation. How do we conserve the biodiversity? This is the last topic of the chapter Biodiversity and Conservation. So basically there are two methods of biodiversity conservation such as in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. Before understanding the two different methods of biodiversity, we will understand that why it is necessary to conserve the biodiversity. So biodiversity conservation is necessary because of the following reasons. Okay, these are the reasons why the biodiversity conservation is necessary. Okay, many commercial important products are obtained by nature such as food, fiber and countless industrial products. So by conserving the biodiversity, we get products such as food. Food is really very necessary for everybody to survive their life. Fiber are necessary, wood are necessary, everything is necessary, and we get products, industrial products, by conserving the biodiversity. So we get many commercial products through biodiversity. Certain activities and products cannot be accomplished without the help of nature, such as production of oxygen and pollination. So, from nature we get oxygen. Without the nature, you cannot get oxygen, and pollination is the process where there is a transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma takes place. This is impossible without the help of a nature. So these type of activities are mainly done with the help of a nature. So you cannot accept these products through industries. So you compulsory need the help of nature for the production of oxygen. Oxygen is very necessary for the survival of the life, which we get from the nature, which is impossible to get from the industry. Intangible benefits such as aesthetic pleasure are derived from the nature. Okay, by conserving the nature, we get benefits such as aesthetic pleasure. So, take for example, when you go for a garden, when you look at the nature, you will be very peaceful and you will be very happy and you feel very joyful, right? This is the aesthetic pleasure you get from the nature. So, without the nature, you cannot get this type of happiness, which is only possible with the natural habitat. The species we share our planet with and passing the rich legacy of biodiversity to our future generation is our ethical duty. So, by conserving the species, we share this planet with millions of plants, animals, microbes. Of course, by conserving the species, nature, we share many million plants, animals, right? And spiritually, each and every species has their important value. Every species and every plant, every animal is very important, and they play important role in our life. So we have to conserve any of those species for our future generation, and it is our important duty to do. It is necessary to conserve the species, organisms for our future generation, so that we can pass the rich legacy of the biodiversity to our future generation. Let us now understand how to conserve the biodiversity, and there are two different methods to conserve the biodiversity. They are in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. We will learn in detail each of them. So biodiversity can be conserved by in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. In situ conservation, in order to conserve the biodiversity better, some of the world's biodiversity hotspots with a high degree of biodiversity and endemism have been identified and are protected. In India, biosphere reserves, wildlife sanctuaries, and national parks are built for this purpose. So, basically, here endangered species are conserved in the natural habitat. So what happened in the in situ conservation? So to conserve the biodiversity, we create the biodiversity hotspot. First of all, you should understand what are biodiversity hotspot. It is a region where we find species. Okay, this is called as biodiversity hotspot. Here 34 hotspots are present in the world. In India, there are only three hotspots. They are Western Ghats and Sri Lanka, Indo-Burma and Himalaya. The three hotspots located in India. So in India, biosphere reserves, wildlife sanctuaries and national parks are built for this purpose only, so that we can protect the species and we can conserve the biodiversity. Second method of conservation of biodiversity is ex situ conservation. So in the ex situ conservation, basically the threatened plants and animals are taken out of the natural habitat and they are placed in the special place where they can be protected. Means here the threatened plants and animals refer to the plants which may hurt you, or plants or animals that may kill you or may do something unpleasant to you. Such type of plants and animals are taken out of the habitat and are kept in a different area where they are protected, and they have given the special care, such as we have zoological parks, botanical gardens and wildlife sanctuaries where they are protected, such as lion, tiger, which may harm the people, so they are kept out of the habitat and they are taken out. Very simple. The threatened species of plants and animals are taken out of their habitats and are kept in special settings, as in zoological parks, botanical gardens, wildlife parks. So very simple. Nowadays, the gametes of endangered species can be preserved by methods such as cryopreservation and can be fertilized in vitro, followed by propagation through tissue culture methods. Similarly, seed can be preserved in seed banks. So basically, the gametes of endangered species can be protected by the method of cryopreservation. In the method cryopreservation, it is the process where the pollen grains can be stored. Okay, cryopreservation is helpful in storing the genetic material of the species which are endangered species for biodiversity conservation. So, conservation of gamete is basically done by cryopreservation, and gamete strains are basically preserved in the seed bank. So, seeds can be preserved in the seed bank. Very simple.